Oh, good. They're all coming down. I tried to get them to come down.
So is this on?
Black Lives Matter!
Can I turn this on?
Black Lives Matter!
No peace!
No peace! No peace!
Police! Police!
Is that what's that on?
You over there talking with the police?
Oh, I don't know. Black Lives Matter!
Not surprised. No, look at him. I got him dapping him up.
All lives don't matter till Black Lives Matter! All lives don't matter!
The Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No peace! No peace! Police! Police! This is my country! 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 No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Woo! Woo! Woo!
I love to see it. I love to see you guys. So we got a little confused on the location. I did not want to be like against the people who were directly threatening me. I wanted to be in a nice, safe, shady environment down here. If it rains, with a little bit of protection. Like,
They ain't about it.
No, they ain't about it. I already skipped throughout the entire crowd there. They wasn't going to do shit.
They won't do shit.
I directly asked him, are you going to hit a girl? Because you said not to get near you, so I was standing right next to him.
exactly. Exactly. So I'm comfortable speaking. Is there anybody else who'd like to start us off?
So that them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's on?
Why the fuck are there only 40 cops there?
Right.
Yeah.
But they don't have a budget. Right. It's on? Hello. Hello, everybody. Black Lives Matter. And qualified immunity. All that jazz. So I think the best thing that I could start with is explaining qualified immunity because a lot of people don't understand what it is. The Institute of Justice recently released a very nice infographic with citations, documentation, all that good stuff. So, what is qualified immunity? Qualified immunity was created in 1982 by the U.S. Supreme Court. Since then, it has led to the regular and widespread violation of constitutional rights by police and other government officials. Under qualified immunity, government officials, including officers, cannot be held accountable for violating the Constitution. How? It sets that you cannot hold them liable unless a court has already held that someone violated the Constitution by engaging in precisely the same conduct under precisely the same circumstances. In the case of George Floyd, unless a court has deemed kneeling on someone's neck for 8 minutes is a clear violation of rights, the officers who allowed it may get away with it. I don't know about you, but I don't think I need a constitutional declaration that kneeling on someone's neck for 8 minutes is a violation. That sounds pretty violating. That sounds very intent to kill. I would not deem it intent to harm. I would deem the longevity of keeping that knee pressed on an airway as intent to murder. So far this year, just in 2020, it's July, just in these few months, government officials who have stolen $225,000, shot a 10-year-old, locked an inmate in a sewage-flooded cell, held a 14-year-old in solitary for over a month, body slammed a 5-foot-tall woman, bombarded a woman's home with tear gas grenades, and much more have already been granted qualified immunity. They owe their victims absolutely nothing. For those reasons and many more, the time to end qualified immunity is now.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. Woo! Woo! Black Lives Matter.
Fuck you. No, they don't.
We continue. I don't plan on stooping to their level. I plan on continuing to share stories of racism and experiences we've all had in Newington. I would happily continue to tell my story, but is there anybody else who has experienced racism in Newington or had any type of issue or would like to say anything in support of Black Lives Matter? Come here. Anybody? I'll keep going. So my name is Taylor Dempsey. I'm gonna make sure that this posts. They're coming, that's fine. So they can hear my story. It's lovely. My name is Taylor Dempsey. I was born in New Britain, Connecticut, and I spent most of my adolescence in Newington, Connecticut. I went to Newington Public Schools. Do you want to speak? Okay. Do you want
Oh, so the White Lives Matter people want to come over and start trouble.
A lot of people may or may not understand, protest etiquette. There's no necessarily right or wrong way. However, in a situation like this, it's very important that our white allies understand their roles in a situation like this. If somebody, whether it's a person of color, a black person, or white person, yells shield, our white allies are to create a barrier in front of people of color. It is important that you do that. It is important that you are not only an ally, but you're also an advocate and you understand your role in this movement. It's also important for our white allies to understand that engaging with cowards and ignorant people like this, and ignorant is the right term. I didn't call them stupid. Ignorant is the lack of knowledge. And that is clearly what they have. They have a lack of knowledge. And so what you are supposed to do as a white ally is to not engage with ignorance. Because if something should pop off, and trust me, they really don't want this smoke. If anybody knows me, they know they really don't want this smoke.
They don't want this either.
But if anything should pop off, the first people that will be attacked are people of color, more specifically black people. And white people will be able to walk away unharmed, not in handcuffs, and not with a billy club to their head, not with mace in their eyes. And so we understand and appreciate you yelling and speaking on our behalf, but at the end of the day, when you mix 3 out of 3 races are dumb as hell. I can call them dumb. 3 out of 3 races, that's my own fact, and they prove it to me every time I go to a protest. 3 out of 3 races are dumb. And so when you mix ignorance with racism and with counter protest, you have a bad concoction, a bad cocktail, a bad mixture. And right now, the last thing that I want to see, there's children out here, is anything happen. I bring my child wherever I go. The last thing I want to see is anybody's child or anybody, period, getting hurt. And so I wanted to make sure that I am here. Taylor has shared with me in a group chat some of the vile things. How can you call? I'm sorry, I'm about to go off. I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure how you can stand in front of a police department and say you support the police when you are in her inbox threatening her life. That makes you a criminal. You can't do the same. You can't ride both fences. So you need to pick a side. If you stand with the police and you believe that the police are law-abiding, good citizens here to protect and serve, and let me just remind you, nowhere in the Constitution does it say the police are here to protect and serve. That is a tagline like just do it for Nike. So the minute that y'all stop really believing that they're here to protect and serve, the better you'll understand the police. If you do your research, you'll know it started from a slave patrol. So once you understand how the system works and how they operate, then you'll understand that it's not about just having one good police. One good police officer cannot change an entire corrupt system. That's number one. Number two, I forgot what the heck I was saying. The people were in her inbox threatening the most disgusting things, from rape to death. I don't know anybody, but when anybody says all lives matter and you are the same person who's threatening rape, I'm sorry, but your life doesn't matter. So miss me with that nonsense. If you want to say white lives matter, then damn it, say it. Be proud of it. I know I can respect my enemy. And so when my enemy comes to my face and says white lives matter, I feel you. But when you hit me with that BS of all lives matter, it's BS. What you really mean to say is white lives matter, and I wish you would just go ahead and say that and let's stop the games. Nobody had a problem with Black Lives Matter until black people said enough is enough. There was never an all lives matter movement, there was never a white lives matter movement, and there was never a blue lives matter movement until black people began getting slaughtered by criminals. I'm not calling them police officers because I'm not going to defame the police officers who actually take the oath seriously. The minute that you break the law and you kill an unarmed black or brown person of color, because you think that your authority allows you to, because the system encourages you and supports you and even sometimes promotes you for it, you are no longer a police officer. You are now a criminal, whether you still carry the badge or not. Let's call it for what it is.
Yes.
So if you are going to be in her inbox, yes. So if you want to get up in her inbox, let me tell you something. My inbox is KAKEVENT. If you got something to say, don't direct it to her. Come from me, because I promise you, I ain't from Newington. I ain't from Connecticut. You really don't want this smoke. You really and y'all teach them from a very early age how to be nasty and rude and racist. And it's disgusting and it's vile. And if you're going to get in her inbox and threaten to rape her, damn it, get in my inbox and let you see what happens. And the police department stands with people like you, then we should be defunding them. Because the last time I checked, our tax dollars pay them. So if they're going to be out here protecting every life because all lives matter, and there's no way they can stand with people who sit and go against us when you in inboxes of activists threatening their life and threatening to rape them. That's all I got to say. Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you.
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter!
I should mention us that we're here to support them from Silver City Uprising.
Just so everybody knows, we have water over here. I got like a little bit of donation money. I ended up providing most of it myself. I wanted people to have water. If there's any kids, I want you to have snacks.
Thank you.
All of that is right there, readily available for you. If anybody is not registered to vote, I also have a bunch of forms, lovely donated by Newington Registrar over there. So that's all over there. So my name is Taylor Dempsey. I was born in New Britain, Connecticut. I went to New Britain Public Schools and then I went to Newington Public Schools. A lot of my friends witnessed the racism I experienced firsthand from administrators. I can't deny that there were administrators who were on my side. Definitely people helped me. I was a really good student, so I did get positive attention, but obviously I have brown skin and a white mother that rubs people the wrong way from a very young age. I remember my 4th grade teacher telling me I shouldn't exist because my race is mixed. I remember being pulled out of class for what I was wearing all the time. My friend recently shared a story that I don't even remember. We both wore black leggings one day, and apparently I got pulled out of class and she was wearing black leggings that day, and she thinks it's because my butt was bigger, and that's not my fault. Like, I was just born, I have a butt, like it's there, it just exists. I just exist, I'm just black. So that happened. One day there was a fight. 2 white girls were fighting in front of Martin Kellogg Middle School. I broke up the fight. The vice principal and the cops said that I was fighting and she told the cops that I had a record. So, you know, my mama bear, she went down there and she was like, where's this record? Taylor Dempsey has a record, where's the record? The vice principal was going, there was no record. I was a straight A student, so there we go. I told them, are you gonna do anything to the girls that tried to hurt me? And I broke up the fight. No, they're white. Anyways, flash forward, I'm an educator in Newington Public Schools. I will say the principal at the school I worked at did reach out to me, and we had a meeting, and he took ownership for not having conversations that should have been had. They realized that they shouldn't have said a meeting. There was no meeting. If you want somebody to change their act at work, if you want someone to do this task, you have to tell them. I had a very clear contract. There was no reason for there to be any misunderstandings, and they just didn't hire me back. At the end of the school year, everything was great. I'm subbing classes, loving the students, great rapport with the students. Educators didn't like me. There was a teacher who pulled me to the side one day and said, "Are you sure you want to be a teacher? Do you think you're going to be good at it?" Very condescending. I went home and cried that night and doubted my abilities as an educator. Did not let that bring me down. I know I'm a good educator. So that happened at the end of the school year. I was supposed to get a bonus, and I'm like, "Where's my bonus?" And I call, and they're like, "Well, you didn't finish on good standing." And I'm like, "Well, what? I was never noted. As far as I knew, I finished on good standing." A couple days later, the bonus was in my account, and they're telling me they're not hiring me back. It was very suspicious. It was very weird. I was not hired back to Newington Public Schools. I'm at West Hartford Public Schools now, and my principal supports what I do. She's happy I do these protests. At the end of the school year, we read Separate is Never Equal. It was a great book that touched upon how sometimes society's laws and practices hurt minorities and people of color, and we have to petition and fight and get together, and we need allies. If Black people demand this change, unfortunately, we're oftentimes met with disdain. I get death threats, you know what I mean? I need my white allies putting their face out there. I put my face out there because I want to encourage others to share their stories. But if it's not coming from white people, if it's not coming from the majority, if it's not coming from the people who are, I'm not at your Thanksgiving table when your grandpa's saying Trump and what, I'm not there. I need you having uncomfortable conversations every day. I need you to shake away from the white fragility and the need to not alienate friends. Alienate your friends. If you say Black Lives Matter and they unfriend you, bye Felicia, I don't need you. We need to get out there. We need to get in their faces. People say I'm a Facebook troll. I love it. I love getting in their faces. I love riling them up. I love it when they show their true colors, because you know what I do? I take a screenshot and I send it to their employers. Don't tell me I'm nasty. Don't tell me I'm nasty. I graduated from CCSU with a 3.95 GPA. I built my own Latin program. CCSU did not have a Latin program. I made the curriculum. I translated it. I wrote the thesis. I did it. I'm about to be getting my master's at University of St. Joseph's. I'm going to be an educator for grades 7 to 12. Don't tell me I'm nasty. I'm loud. I'm provocative. I'm vocal. I'll get in your face. I'll tell you how it is. I won't coddle it. I won't sugarcoat it. If you come at me saying you're going to throw a water balloon at my head, I'm going to troll you. You're not going to get the Harvard studies. You're going to get, I'm going to surround your family with biracial babies. That's what you're going to get from me. Don't come at me, bro. I will hurt your feelings. I will sleep with your family members, and I will make the world more black. Black is